Do you sometimes wake up and just think to yourself,
I think I need a ball gown?
Yes, happens to me all the time. So let's talk about it. So when I was thinking about my next big sewing project, I wanted to make something with a dramatic silhouette, but I didn't feel like making something historical right now. I wanted to make a fantasy ball gown of my dreams. And then I saw the Wicked movie. Glinda's bubble gown? I mean, so pretty. Especially the skirt part with the Fibonacci spirals that I used and all the swirliness going on. I love it. And pink is a lovely color, but I wanted to make something in my favorite color, which is a nice deep emerald green. And so I decided I'm going to take all these inspirations, the silhouette, my favorite color, all the sparkles, and gonna put it together and make it my own. And that's what we're going to do in the next couple of videos. And in this video I'm going to make a base corset, which will then get all the nice stuff plastered all over it. So let's start! So I have my style lines and I hope that I can just trace it and then I have a pattern. Have I ever done this before? Not really, but I saw it a lot of times in YouTube videos, so I'm basically a pro. Looks like a pattern piece. Let's see how we do with the dart. But I think I have to do more than one mock-up, so this looks always so easy when other people do this. I'm pretty sure we will end up with something. So that's the front piece. I think it looks like a pattern piece. By the way, if you want to see how I made this dress form, I have a video about it. So here's my pattern. It looks like something. Might not be as neat as tidy as I wanted it to be, but it's a start. Zoom, zoom, zoom. It's my pattern paper, not a lightsaber or something. I'm tracing just as it is and then I will refine it with a ruler and make the lines more straight, making sure that all the pieces fit together then in the end. I am cutting it off here and we see each other maybe even after I made the mock-up, because that's boring stuff. Okay, so I'm here with my mock-up and it's actually surprisingly nice. I like the back. It looks very nice already. I could close my corset because I wasn't sure about that either, because the dress form is already a few years old and, you know, bodies change, but it fits quite perfectly around my body. Yeah, but let's talk about the cups. These cups were not cupping at all. They were just like flat. I slashed it here, I opened the seam, and that shows already that the seam needs to be much curvier to actually form something that, you know, boops. I also put like padding in there because I will do that also for the final one. I will definitely waist it. It's much too low for my taste, so I will probably have the band go up like this. I also put in boning in one half. That's the side with the boning. That's the side without boning. Maybe I take out a little at the waist so it gets a little more snatched. Yeah, and then I have to take care of that part because I'm not sure how to handle it. I need to take a look at patterns that do have like inset cups and how they treat in that part. Do I make it more narrow? Do I leave it like that? I don't know yet. That's mock-up number 1. And I will now go back to the drawing board. Okay, so we have a second mock-up and I'm just analyzing it. Now I raised it here and now I have a feeling it's a little too loose, but I'm not sure if this gets solved, if the cup is done correctly, you know. And then it's also very loose here, but it's not stuffed. Maybe I need to stuff the second one too. It's just a piece of fabric in there. So yeah, I think I have to resolve the problem that this area is now a little too large, but I also don't want to overfit it because it will have like a lining and even more boning on this side. So I think I will just take out a little on that area and then we're good. I'm not sure. I don't know. It's hard, people. I don't know. I mean, it's more a cup than it was before. That's for sure. I think with more boning and stiffer fabric, this will also be more straight and not like crouching. And the question is, will I make another mock-up or not? I think I will just take in this one and then save some time and material. It's always good. So just a little reality check how my table looks like. It's mock-up number 2. It's now cut apart. I did redraw a few pieces. That's my pattern right now. And this, well, that's my mess, but it doesn't focus. Whatever. Okay, so I have my fabric for the corset, for the base. It's a very nice cotton satin with a nice supple sheen, but it's a little soft, which is actually nice, but not for this project because we want to make a corset and therefore we need a little bit of stability. So I will take a little bit of my muslin that I used for my mock-ups and I will use this basically as a third mock-up, but also as the lining, as an interlining. I will double that with this because it's quite sturdy. I just give it a good press and then I will start this thing. So I pinned everything on top of each other and I will now cut it and then sew around every piece to treat it as one piece after that. The green fabric will get more stability and yeah. So I will now also cut a lining from that green fabric and I'm not sure if I will also interline my lining. It's quite thin, it's nice as a lining, but I'm not sure if I need more structure or not. I will cut it now so that I have it ready. I don't know if it might need some fusible. I will sleep on that. I will cut this now and then I will have a nice cozy time with my cat and my book. Trying to control my resting stitch face, but I can't help it. As soon as the focus sets in, I'm like, let's use these pattern weights because they're super handy. Don't know if I've talked about these before. 2 big washers, I think that's what I called. And I've wrapped them with some pieces of ribbon. They're like forbidden candy, I don't know, but they're very, very nice. So now I will just put my 2 fabrics together inside the seam allowance. I think I use the width of my, or the half width of my presser foot to make it somewhat even. And then I will, of course, take out my needles and try to keep it nice and flat. It will be inside the seam allowance, so it doesn't have to be super pretty. And I pinned this one the wrong side, of course. Ouch! Okay, now that I have made 2 piles of my outer fabric, which is also my lining, backed with the cotton, I can now start assembling this. And I already had a little, not a problem, but a thing that I could have thought about earlier, because I want to put some boning in the front piece, which is quite narrow in the upper part. But I think I will go with this small boning that I have will be fine if I do 2 next to each other, maybe even 3. I will start with the front piece. So that's what I know. So let's find the front piece. Here we go. And the front piece on the lining, which is also here. And now I will just put these on top of each other. Maybe I forgot to shorten this here or something. Anyway, so that's fine. Then I will pin these on top of each other. So I stitched my 2 first seams. Look fine, it's a little wonky at the end, but that's okay. Because what do we do when we make mistakes? Correct, we put a lot of decoration on them. I don't make the rules. I will continue with the piece number 2, of course. Just this one. And what I will do is put them on the right ends, and then I will take the other part too. And then I will put the outer layer on top and the lining layer underneath. Sew this, iron it, and then I will have nice seam allowances, and I will continue to do this for the other pieces too. So what I'm doing right now is grading the seam allowances of the lining so that it will not be all the seam allowances stacked on each other, so they are a little set apart. So that reduces the amount of bulk that you see on the outside. So number 3 for the outer and number 3 for the lining. So this is what we have right now. The last piece is missing, and obviously the cups are missing. That's what I did the last couple of hours. The next step on my to-do list is boning channels. So I will add them to the seams, and I have these 2 extra in the middle of the front piece. We're trying to keep this as smooth as possible and go quite slow. First boning channel is stitched. On to the next one. So I run into a little problem because the seam allowances are still quite thick. My purser foot is always like sliding away from where I want it to go, and I have a feet that can help with that. I would like to have it the other way around. So I need to sew my seam like this, although I prefer to, you know, sew from the upper half of the garment to the bottom, so that everything that is quite the same length will end up in the hem. But I don't know how to solve it other way, so I would try it this way, and if that doesn't work, need to acquire a new foot. I don't know. I have like really pretty much every foot that you can think of, but of course it's the one that I need now that it's not included. So half of the boning channels is now stitched. Wasn't so easy as I expected because of the thickness of the seam allowances. So now I will do the other side. These are 1, 2, 3 more channels, and I think this will do. I conquered all the boning channels on the seams. So this is where I'm at. I can now check this off my list. So I will now finish the upper edge with bias tape. Also that little part in between the cups. So I'm measuring now how much bias tape. So these are, let's say 30, even a little more, 31, 62 plus 6 centimeters. So for making my bias tape, I like to use my long ruler. It has all the nice angles written on it, so I know where my 45-degree angle is. So usually I go like this, using the edge, and then I have my 45-degree angle. And then I try not to waste too much fabric. So I finished all my bias tape and I already pinned the first one on the edge. This needs ironing, but one edge is down. Looks already so much nicer. That's all stitched, and now I will iron it to the other side, and then I will stitch it down my machine. So I finished the upper edges. Here's the small one. Looks fine. It's not perfect, but what is perfect, right? So next step is making the cups and putting them in. That's something for tomorrow because I'm tired and I need to cuddle my cat. We have like 2 pieces for the cups and a third one for the upper cup. So now I will put together all the A and B parts, also for the lining, because I don't want to confuse my lining cup pieces. They're not labeled, so I'm doing it now. And I'm already confused. 1A, 1B, B and A. I have to admit that it's also quite late. I'm very close to my bedtime, so it's a little bit risky what I'm doing here. But I still wanted to have some sewing time today. Hey, so I have my cups already and I will go to the sewing machine, which means I just turn around. And I have my little cup party decoration, which I cut now. Let's now put the upper bra cup thing onto my lower cup thing, because that's the professional term for it. I'm pretty sure about that. Okay, it's too late. I should not be sewing. My brain is very tired. So I put together my cups and they need ironing. That's what I'm gonna do now, and tomorrow I will set them into my corset because that's nothing I will do tired. So see you then. Sunday morning, it's bright and sunny out there. It's lovely spring weather. So what better time to set in some cups in your corset, right? I already clipped my seam allowances. So I took out some fabrics on this seam and I clipped a little on this, and you can see that this one needs to spread out. So it's just clipped and this one has the triangles taken out. Does it make me nervous? Yes, it does. It does. May the sewing gods be with me. It worked. It needs ironing, definitely, but I don't have any puckering. Yes! So the sewing gods really tested my patience, because I had to do that one twice. I had some puckering that I didn't like. So I'm now going to iron this, and then I'm going out and actually enjoying that nice weather. So see you in the evening, basically. We are back. Okay, my next step on my list would be taking my bra foam things. And I also have some underwire. I'm not sure if I'm using it, if it fits. We will see. These are too big for my cups, so I will have to trim them down a little. I think I will pin them as good as I can. Now I can mark where I want to cut it. I've reshaped this cup thing. That's how it was, and it's much smaller now, and I will do the same for this. And then I will go over the edges with some zigzag just to secure them and also make them like a little more compressed like they were before. Okay, the first thing I will do now is stitching on the lining, then put them in like a pocket and fold it over, sew it down by hand. That's what it's looking like now. First I will clip the seam allowance a little bit in there, and then I will insert my bra cups, and then I'm going to stitch that down by hand. I wanted to check if the underwire was fitting in there. I'm supposed to bend it to your shape. I never used them before. They're not very bendable. I have no hope to get it in there then. I think I will save these for another project, but we do without it for this project. That's what I decided exactly now. Now, the second question, would understitching interfere? So I did the understitching, and now my cup looks very crisp and nice on the upper edge. The lining will stay inside where it belongs. And now we put in the foam cups. Finally, they should really nice sit in the seam allowance or within. So maybe I can stitch it to the seam allowance a little. I'm going to stitch down the second cup lining, and I will go in and stitch down this seam too. I did this for this one too, so that's already done. And after that, depending on how long this will take me, I'm starting to cut the boning so that we can insert them and finish the lower hem. And the last thing after that would be the zipper. I am working now on the boning. I already started to cut this thin kind of stuff, but I will place them next to each other. These were the ones I was talking about because of the narrow space that I have here. So that's why we're using the small one. And in the other channels, I will use this more thick and sturdy stuff. Yeah, that's what I'm putting into the other channels. So I have my very professional sanding tool. It comes from cheap Halloween stick-on nails, and that's what I'm going to use now. So I'm sanding my edges that I cut already quite round. I will just sand them down so they will not step through any seams or fabric. What you do in your free time. I'm just sanding plastic sticks to go into my fancy costume. Yesterday I tried listening to music while I'm working on a YouTube video, and it ended up being a complete opera. Oh shit! Just me performing version of Wicked, of course. So I decided it might not be the best to put that on while I was trying to look professional. Are you also performing in your sewing room? Please tell me in the comments. That's one down. Still looks the same to you. So I'm not yet completely done with my boning channels. I have 2 more to go. Did I make this too long? That's too long, because math is hard. And I think today might be the last day I'm working on this thing. I'm eager to finish it. The zipper's in. I just need to take care of the lining, and for that little bit of seam binding I need to repair basically, and then I will fold the lining over the zipper and sew it down. And then the last thing we need to do is the edge down below. And I want to add a waist tape. Take this, tape this to my waist and close it, and then I can pull the whole thing to the front and close the zipper on the back without needing 2 more hands.
With the shoulder pads, you can see how much smoother this is.
Well, I couldn't find a millinery shop advertisement for belly pieces or pads.
Decoration wants to fall off my walls. Okay, I'm now done with my lining to the zipper stitching thing, and I will now, I am going to measure the length of the bias tape that I will need for the lower edge. My trusty companion, big old ruler. How wide did we make the other one? 4.5, I think. I mean, that was last week. Obviously, I do not remember. But I have 2 centimeters and 4.5. Yeah. Maybe I have a little bit left. Yes, I have a little. Thank you, past me. And it's almost 4.5. Okay, I did remember correctly. So here it is, my finished base corset. It's not perfect, but I think it will do its job. I think the fabric wasn't the best choice and there's still some quirks in the patterns, but it will do its job, and I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Until the next one, bye bye!